Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's a time for the podcaster who hopefully will be on 1,000 miles of meanders and lulls away from your thoughts and your feelings and your physical sensations. 1,000 miles away, right? That's how it goes, at least when I'm recording this, whatever year, 2022. So, yeah, it's time for the podcaster. If you're like wondering, wait, what did I just tune into? Or what is this show I just started? Oh boy, you're right, because you're in the right place. It doesn't make any sense. And it goes downhill from here, slowly off to dreamland. It's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And these sponsors are what enable us to be here for you for free twice a week. So when your hand hits the fridge tomorrow or that coffee pot, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. Thanks. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots. I was just wondering, we're doing a big push for our Patreon right now. We've lost a lot of patrons because there's so much stuff going on. And what's hurdles for regular people is also a hurdle for the podcast. So if you're in a financial position where you could support the podcast you listen to for free, I realize it's a wild idea to pay for a free podcast, but that small percentage of people that pay for the free podcast, they keep it free for everybody. So if you can afford to support the show at $5, $10, $20 a month or support it annually, you listen to the show a lot. You say, wait a second, I listen to Sleep With Me more than I listen to my music subscription service, more than I listen to or watch these two streaming services. Please consider pausing one of those memberships and supporting the podcast, because your help, it's huge. It enables me to do what I do night after night after night, put all the work, my heart and my soul into the show. So please consider supporting the show if you can. And if you can't, don't worry. There are people out there, and I don't know the statistics. The last time I looked, it was one patron provides about 1,000 downloads a month for other people. So your support could help 1,000, 2,000 other people fall asleep every single month. So whatever it is, it's a huge help. If you're in a position to do so, maybe think about pausing one of those subscription services you don't use every single month. If you use Sleep With Me every single night, multiple times a week, multiple times a night, please consider supporting the show. It'd be a huge help. There's tons of cool bonus content and stuff like that. We're about to launch our Discord community. So there's tons of other reasons to get into it. But in the end, a lot of people choose to support the show because it's there for them. And it feels good to know you're supporting it for you and a ton of other people. At least that's what I hear from all the other patrons. So please consider it. sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/PATRON. Thanks. All right, everybody. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And I don't know if you've ever felt burnout. Sometimes when I have a bunch of deadlines coming up and I'm thinking about them a lot, I'm working a lot, and I'm feeling a lot of feelings about my thoughts, the deadlines, the work. And then I have family stuff, and then something unexpected comes up. That's when I start to feel burned out. And it can be really stressful, right? And it can get in the way of my sleep and get in the way of me being present for my daughter. And it can just be really unpleasant and challenging. And normally we associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause. Any of the roles in our life can lead to feeling burned out. And BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life. And that's where therapy comes in for me, because I have a set time every single week where I know I have a safe place to talk it over with someone trusted who's going to be there for me, to listen to me, to help me get to the bottom of it. Therapy is a really important keystone in my life. And if you're feeling burnt out, or you don't want to feel burnt out, or you want tools to deal with being burned out, or someone to talk to about it, that's there to listen and to help you get through it and deal with it and put it in perspective. Just like anyone in my personal life, I'd say, why don't you try BetterHelp? BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try. Sleep With Me listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp. BetterHelp. bp.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody. It is time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone. The one part of the podcast I need you to hear. It's where I pop my P's, I speed up, I talk a little bit more paced, like natural pace, because it's how we're able to be here for you for free twice a week are the sponsors and the people that support the show. And that's important to me. Free wherever you want it, whenever you want it. And I want to thank Clinton Averill, who supported Calm, got 2 annual subscriptions to Calm. Thank you so much, Clinton Averill, for supporting the show, for letting Calm know about it, letting me know about it. You can fill out the form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. I'm just about to send out a video thanking Clint because for supporting Calm and letting Calm know about it. So if you support a sponsor, fill out the form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. I'll try to mention you here on the Sleepy Supporter Zone and send you a thank you video. So thank you, Clinton Averill. The second part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone is you getting the support you need right now. So if you're in need of extra resources, there's links. If you're in need of extra resources, there's links to, how am I having trouble saying that? There's links to places you can contact right now. So please use those links. They're right in our show notes. It's also about supporting the communities we're part of, not just saying Black Lives Matter, not just saying stop API hate, not just saying support Ukraine, but taking small steps, taking action, learning more. There's links to resources where you could do that in the show notes. And it's about being a part of community actively. I'd love it if you'd be a part of our Sleep With Me community and the community of supporting people experiencing homelessness. We're going to have a live show Zoom party coming up 5/25. What's that? May 25th. You could come for free. Join in this community event. Just sign up for our newsletter, sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission. Use the link in the show notes. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission. Every month, we're going to be having a party. We're going to be putting together hygiene kits, building community, and I'll be doing a live show where anything could happen, mostly extra pauses and lulls and awkward faces. I just watched our first live show. You can even check out our last live show. Sign up for that newsletter. You get access to it for free. So if you've ever wanted to participate in the Sleep With Me community for free, here's your chance to do so. sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission. That's it. And what do you say we slow it down? Oh, and Mystery Bard, sorry. A lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Posty poster son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. I'm at Dearest Scooter on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you can find me. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission. And what do you say? We slow it down and get on with the show. Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble, getting to sleep, trouble, staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake. It could be thoughts on your mind, things you're thinking about. I usually have thoughts about everything. Internal, past, present, future, internal. You see, how many thoughts? I can only think about one thing myself at once. But like you say, you can only have one thought about one thing. That's a theory, right? Or maybe it's not a theory. Maybe it's true. But when I'm thinking about myself, I can have a billion thoughts at the same time. Maybe around that same subject. When I think about unicorns running through fields, I guess I can, like, that's just a thought. I say, that's a nice thought. So thoughts, feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally about those thoughts or something else? They could be leftover feelings or just, whatever feelings that are there, important feelings, or they could be ones that are, a little bit tuned down. Whatever they are. It could be also physical sensations, changes in your routine, your time, your temperature, mysteries. I'm still dealing with sleep mysteries right now. It could be something, you could be dealing with mysteries that could cause sleeplessness. One out of every two detectives or mystery solvers probably may say, yeah, it's not always getting to sleep. If it's mysteries, if I haven't figured it out yet. And the other ones would say, well, I just sleep on it. I say, thanks, Sherlock Holmes. And not everybody, we're not all, whatever. I gotta, I can't, I don't have such good, I don't have as good boundaries as you, Thea, Thea Stilton is my, I say, well, I don't have those kind of same ability to balance things like Thea Stilton does. I think one part of my brain said, I don't think Thea Stilton investigates mysteries. I say, okay, fair enough. But yeah, whatever is keeping you awake, I'd like to keep you company and take your mind off of that, which is a little bit different if you're new. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm going to tell you kind of everything you need to know. I'm going to try to create a safe place where you can set that stuff aside. And the safe place is like kind of optional, or like I can send it to you, or you could come check it out, or you could look across the way and say, oh, I'm looking at it. Like sometimes people have paintings of like warm cabins, right? An inviting cabin. And you just want to maybe just look at a picture of the podcast. It would be imaginary, I guess, but you could look at the picture and say, that's not bad. That warm cabin looks inviting. If I was there, I don't know if I'd be, the doors open, those pictures, the wood siding and warm light coming out of it, maybe a chimney with some, smoke, all those things. You say, well, that cabin looks pretty warm and inviting. When I look at it in a picture across the room, I'm totally comfortable with it. And I'd say, you could sleep with me like that if you wish. That is one of the multitude of safe places I'm going for. And the way I do it is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I use these lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, which means that my voice is somewhat soothing, but not traditionally soothing. It's more forgettable. You say it's unforgettably forgettable. Your voice is so unforgettable. I choose not to listen to it, or eventually I barely listen to it. That's the goal. I'm laughing because it's true. I was trying to figure out. Let's just get a little smarmy. There is what it was. And then of course I pictured Natalie Cole singing. Okay, so. Send my voice across lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet, pointless meanders and superfluous tangents. You've witnessed those already, where I go off topic, I get mixed up, I see something, I talk about it, then I try to get back to what I was talking about. Then I make it about me. Then I say, wait a second, then I get fixated on a word or I mispronounce something. All that is part of the show. But when you're new, it does take some getting used to, or even if you return to the show after a break, it takes some getting used to. Because even the idea of like, okay, so I'm supposed to listen to you, but not listen to you. And I'd say kind of, but that even to me sounds like a little bit of work. I say, you just see how it goes. I'll be talking. You don't need to listen or even think about not listening. Because I will try to engage you just enough to take your mind off of stuff. But my ability to get to the point and make sense is not one of my strengths. It's just not. Even during the day, putting together thoughts in a clear and concise way, just not my forte. As I always say, every 10th episode, my forte, Will Forte. I'm good at picturing Will Forte in my mind. So that's my forte. Putting summarizing things in my brain. Man, no, I could do it. I could do it slowly in a way that painting an incomplete picture. Oh man, I got that down. If you need to be confounded, I'd have to look up the word to make sure we're talking about the same thing. But if you're looking for someone to confound you, you're in the right place, or to keep you company. So what I'm going to do if you're new, or let's see, take some getting used to. Yeah, because this is a podcast you just barely listen. It also doesn't really put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you drift off. So what that means is you could just kind of barely listen to me. If you can't sleep, I'll be here to the very end because there are listeners that are just looking for company in the deep, dark night or a break during the day. But it also, I think, helps knowing I'm here. I'm going to be telling you a story, or tonight we'll be talking about an episode of Doctor Who in a very indirect and inane way, where I'll go, I'll be more thinking like, oh, what does that person remind me of? Or, oh, that's like a fish song or whatever it is. So to keep you company, but so it's like the kind of thing you could listen or you could fall asleep at any time. And it does take some getting used to. Most people, it takes 2 or 3 listens to realize, because that's not natural, right? In our day-to-day life, we're expected to listen and pay attention. And then it's like, well, it's not easy. That's a lot of work. Or you're listening for a distraction. You say, well, boy, I can't wait to listen to that podcast or watch that show or read that book. And a lot of people are trying to get your attention. For me, it's like, I'm just going to, have you look over here for a minute or two or a little while and say, well, yeah, it's like that cabin. You've seen that cabin picture, right? And maybe some of you have it in your home. But for most of us, you say, I don't know where that was. Was it in a hotel? Or, a place I delivered newspapers to, or a waiting room. I'm not sure. And that ideally is after you get 2 or 3 tries, you say, I'm not sure. Like at breakfast, it'll be the same thing. You'll say, what was Scoots talking about? And you say, I don't know. I think maybe like waiting rooms. I don't know. But I slept so good. I barely listened to any of it, but I played it all night long. So just see how it goes. And the reason I make the podcast, I've been just having some sleep struggles. So I know how it feels, right? To wonder when I'm getting ready for bed, even though I have a consistent bedtime routine, it's like, man, am I going to get a good night's sleep tonight? Am I going to sleep through the night? I'm like a baby right now. I don't have a baby, but I'm sleeping like a baby. And anybody that has a baby knows that's not it's like sleeping like a baby when it's asleep, but I'm not even sleeping like that. Anyways, so that's why I make the show. Part of it is I know how it feels. The more important part is you. You're the most important part of the show because you deserve a good night's sleep. And if you can get the sleep you need, your life will be better. It'll be more manageable if you start to get a bedtime routine going or find something that works for you. Your life will be better. Our world will be a better place. So even if you don't like this show, after 2 or 3 tries, check out sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. Or if you already don't like the structure and the style of the show, it's totally fine. Check out some other sleep podcasts on there. But yeah, so structure of the show. Let's go to that next. The show has a very specific structure, just to serve so it's adaptable. But the structure of the show is intentional. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It starts off with a greeting, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and hopefully I say something funny, which I don't necessarily ever succeed at either. It's like it's kind of funny, and that way you feel welcome, you feel seen, and you say, oh, okay, this is a lighthearted podcast, around a serious subject. Then there's support. So the podcast can be free wherever you want to listen to it. So that's what the sponsors allow us to do, and the people that pay for the free podcast allow us to do. So anybody that needs it can listen whenever they want on any podcast app they want. There's also support for listeners. There's support for the communities around the show. And so that all happens then. Then there's the intro, which we're like 10 minutes into probably. And sometimes when people feel strongly about the support stuff, they kind of, they think the intro is part of the support stuff. The intro is a show within a show where I attempt to explain what the podcast is, which normally people would be already done with like 10 minutes ago. But it's a show within a show. It's kind of, I try to explain what the structure is, how the show works, but I also go off topic and stuff. So some people, a small percentage of listeners fall asleep right away or right away during the intro. And then another small percentage of people skip the intro and start the show at around 20 or 30 minutes. But recently I've gotten some reviews that said, hey, I used to do that. Now I'm back listening to intros. Because the purpose of the intro and again, you can, as you become a regular listener, you can kind of discover what works for you, or you can support the show on Patreon, and then you can kind of have a buffet of episodes or cut different ways, or just intros or just stories or whatever. But so the intro kind of hopefully is a buffer between your waking time and your sleeping time. It eases you into bedtime. Maybe it's part of your wind down routine or your getting ready for bed routine. Because I found for me that's essential. And I know one essential part that is like cutting out the phone. You know, you can start the podcast and then in a podcast app, it'll play with the screen off. But it's like, for me, it's like I got to move my phone shutdown time to even earlier. But having a wind down time where I get ready for bed, I hang out with my dog, I start to it's just a transition period. That really works. I mean, everything about sleep, there's a consensus at least around that. But it's also important to me because, again, it gives that same message to parts of me that are overthinking or having strong feelings. It's like, hey, having a nice bedtime and wind down works. I realize it can be inconvenient sometimes. This is me talking to myself. But it's nice, and it's nice to have a bedtime that's relaxing and nice. Now, we can't do that all the time, right? But that's what the intro is meant to do, is just give you some time to transition. And then there'll be some support again for the show, free twice a week. Then there'll be our story, and that'll be really snoozy. Tonight we'll be covering an episode of Doctor Who, and then there's thank yous at the end of the show. And I think that's it. I mean, it's definitely... Give it a few tries. Almost no one gets it on the first try, though people do message me and email me that they did. But for the most part, it's like something to try out because if you're here, you've tried out a lot of different stuff, right? And none of it has worked consistently. And maybe even this doesn't work consistently for you. Like I'm like at 80%. If I have a good bedtime routine, though whatever's going on with me right now, it's just not but it's like, okay, I'm going through a phase. But if I still have my bedtime routine, again, I'm making it about me, but it's like, at least I still feel okay at bedtime. And I hope the podcast can be a part of that for you or lead you to something different that could be a part of it for you, right? So I'm glad you're here. I really, really appreciate your time. I work really hard. I earn and I strive, and I really hope I can help you fall asleep. Thank you again for coming by. And here's a couple of ways I'm able to do this for you for free twice a week. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive. Are you thinking more about how to tighten up your budget these days? Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save over $700 on average, and customers can qualify for an average of 6 discounts when they sign up. A little off your rate each month goes a long way. Get a quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary. Discounts vary and are not available in all states and situations. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Brooklinen. And I don't know if you're ready for warmer weather, but Brooklinen certainly is. And it's time to kick that season off with a refresh from the home of the internet's favorite sheets. You know, for me, I'm thinking of something cool and crisp, and then I'm thinking of something I could lie down on the beach, maybe a nice beach towel. And I'm also thinking of luxury, because Brooklinen was created in 2014 to give customers luxury hotel-level home essentials that don't break the bank. bank. They got snuggly sheets, cozy towels and robes, loungewear, accessories, and more. They work directly with suppliers, Brooklyn, and cuts out the luxury markups and passes those savings back to their customers so you get their incredible products at a reasonable cost. And if you're looking for those beach and pool essentials, Brooklinen's got them. They've got photo-worthy beach towels, and then you can check out their comfy tanks and shorts from their loungewear collection. Kick back. It's summertime, right? They have over 100,000 five-star reviews. That's right, 100,000 five-star reviews. And I was just thinking about how soft the loungewear is. It got me through the winter. So now it's time for me to get some shorts and some tanks for my summer loungewear. It's soft, it's supple, and it looks good. My daughter just told me the other day, she said, Dad, I really like that shirt and the sweats you're wearing. And I said, looking good, and now I feel good. And I felt relaxed, oh boy. And next week is Brooklinen's Memorial Day sale with deals on your favorite home essentials. So get over there. And if you're listening after the sale, you can still save. Visit brooklinen.com, use the promo code SLEEPWITHME for $20 off your purchase of $100. That's Brooklinen, BROOKLINEN.com. Use that promo code SLEEPWITHME. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it's Scoots here talking about the second episode of this double family episode of Doctor Who. I don't actually know the name of it just because I don't. So it's loading here. And we're going to continue. We're not going to continue watching because I guess it started on episode 10 for me. But don't worry, we'll find it here. Somehow we'll find it. The Doctor Who connection. There we go. A family, a related family is the title of the episode, or just the family. No one's saying we are family in this episode. But yeah, I'm going to hit play. I'm going to grab my notebook and we'll get going here. Okay, subtitles are on. Recap is running. This is season 3 or series 3, episode 9. David Tennant, real serious emotional arcs here and ones that are not satisfactory for the characters, but have a satisfaction for us as an audience, even though it builds more tension. And very relatable. At least I've been, if you've listened to other episodes of Sleep With Me, you know I've been in Martha's position more than once. And no offense, the doctor can date whoever he wants, or Mr. Smith or whoever, Professor Smith, but come on, can't you see the diamonds right in front of you, or whatever the saying, I don't know, is that a saying? It should be. So I don't know. And I've never seen this season or this series, so I don't know how it's going to resolve. I mean, I do know how it's going to resolve. I just don't know how it reaches that resolution or any of the emotional arcs, because I did get spoiled on just one point of what happens. But it's what do you I don't know. This is my own problems. So episode 9, recap, human out of order, different, fall in love, kids crows, this is not you, change back, we need a Time Lord, friend or lover, open. So, yeah, they're going for, there's a kiss going on the screen, Martha's watch, open the watch, Martha, kid psychic, book, sonic screwdriver, straw friends, they found us, the family taking, presence in human bodies, a doctor and a cap, change back. Someone said, I hate laser beams, never done asking much or whatever. The kid that plays the kid in the family that was once a student is so good. I'm surprised we haven't seen him in multiple roles. He's a more sinister, he has the elements of Cillian Murphy and Crispin Glover, put together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you've seen this episode, you know exactly what I'm saying. Like a sinister Cillian Murphy. Okay, Jenny says, what's your decision, Mr. Smith? Kid psychic reaches into his pocket for the watch. Let me just pause it while I go through my notes. Back to shoulder, kid, kid psychic, has plan, heartbreaks, Time Lord will engage or something. Time Lord, watch open. Martha gets the drop. So even after this, I said, dude, like, did you just see Martha's moves? And the stuff Martha's willing to put up with bad behavior too, but also to draw boundaries and say that's unacceptable, your behavior. Not in this scene, but later. So showdown, decider, mixed up, doctor, showdown doctor, mixed up. They get their little laser beams drawn. Mouth suck. Mouth suck. Martha, such a bad ASS. Fully in love now. Is that me? Or is that, or fully, like it looks like, my handwriting looks like some sort of letter that doesn't exist, but I think it's an F, then a U, then a L, and then a B, then I-O, then L-I-N-E, but I think it's L-O-V-E, and then now. I have my own shorthand, but it just changes every time I write something, so it doesn't really do me any good. Screen's running, Baines, Time Lord, Heartbreak. Kid opens a watch. Everybody, it's a good distraction, allows Martha to make a move. She has Jenny, and Martha's so cool, staring him down, too. And she says, go for it, man, like a Tarantino film. You want to do it? Probably, I think this is what year was this made? 2007? Martha says, don't even dream about it. Dr. Smith is frozen, or whatever, Mr. Smith. The nurse, she gets to leave with the doctor, go on. Martha's doing the, heroin move. She has to take command. She has to sacrifice multiple times in this episode. And this one, she's willing to save the day on her own. So I think this is a really good, and it's good in the point of the season. I'm sure the arc plays out after this of she's the one that has to, of what I already said it, but she's the one making things happen. I mean, by necessity, but everyone's gone except for Martha, the family, and the straw friends. They're all outside. Warn the village, tell the school. Kid psychic is not happy with the doctor because he says, what the heck, you're supposed to help. Now Martha's trying to get out of the room slowly, but they're like rolling up on her, the four family members, so much spirit, much more fun. Where's Jenny? I took over for Jenny. And, they're walking towards Martha. A straw friend grabs her, but Martha gets away. Goes out the door. Everybody's just standing around. She goes, rubbish, come on, move. Why are you standing outside? Then they are all running. Kid psychic's running in the woods with steam. They're shooting lasers. Everybody's running. This is fun. Good to be out in the open. This is sports. This is what the aliens are saying. School teacher went back to the school. What about Martha? Let me check Jenny's memory. She was her friend. She used to go walking in the West. So that's a clue for the team that's not good. Husband of mine, go check it out. Go to the West, take some straw friends with you. And mother of mine, son of mine, let's go check the school. So then there's more running towards the school with this theme of the point it is in England's history also is carrying an undertone. And there's a lot of, hey, what choices are okay to make? Doctor's ringing the bell. School's going to stand together. Martha's like, what? We're going to stand up as a school with these kids. Enemy at the door. And the bully comes down. Get ready, the doctor's saying. Everybody gets up. They're already in their school outfits. And the aliens are like, okay, this could be a challenge. That's why we needed the Time Lord, because we're weak in this human form. Maybe a little caution, We'll send in the girl with the balloon to spy on them and give us info. She smiles and skips off with her balloon, which somehow still has helium. Martha's like, Mr. Smith, what are you doing? These are boys. And he says they're cadets. And then the principal or something says, what in thunder? This is going to be a lot of punishments here. And then they say, well, we got some wild stuff to explain to you. Principal's headmaster, I guess. The school's coming under straw friends and not beings from another planet. Matron was with me. Baines, Mr. Clark, they've like kind of lost it, I guess is one way to put it. Matron's that so? Yes, sir. Saw it with me own eyes. Okay, Mr. Smith, why do you think they're coming here? Well, yeah, they said they're coming here. That's why we think so. They said they're coming. Oh, very well then. Let's get on guard, make some calls. Mr. Phillips and I will investigate. Martha says, that's not a good idea. And the guy says, I know everything. Excuse me. Martha says, I got to find the watch. Matron chases after her. And the kid psychic is hiding. And the watch is saying, keep hiding. Not yet. Time's not right. Just be patient. Families are bored, watch out for them. So then the headmaster and the vice principal or whatever go outside. Straw friends, Baines, and Jenny are out there. This is a practical joke. Let's just have some discipline. And he says, keep a civil tongue. Have you been drinking? Mr. Smith's watching through the windows. Let's calm down. Who are these friends of yours dressed up like straw-based beings? Made them myself. I'm ever so good at science. Says, check it out. Molecular fringe animation. Ever so good. Baines, come inside. No, thank you. Send us John Smith and all will be well. And the Time Lord consciousness, we need to find that too. Then we'll leave you alone. Whose voice you talking through, son? Family's voice, dude. And he said there's trouble in the village with capital T. It rhymes with B, and that stands for what our family's nickname is. And he says, history's coming. History's on its way. 1914. Because you don't even know. He goes, we're looking for Mr. Smith. We've seen a lot. We know the future. Trouble is coming. And the W's, mud. And you really want to think, why don't you just back down? You don't want to act like it's glorious when it isn't. And the guy says, yeah, I've been through a lot, man. So you don't got to bring it up with me. I realize the weight of my choices. King and country, though. And then Baines says, et cetera, Laser's the vice principal. Sorry, I'm laughing. It's just, vice principal's a little bit hapless. And they say, send out Mr. Smith, hurry it up. Mr. Smith's looking out the window. Principal's running, closes the door. Bain gives a wet-lipped grin. Smith looks up like he wasn't spying on them, which is interesting. I just noticed that for the first time. What's going on with this, Mr. Smith? I have no idea. Telephones are down. This is it, just us. And the headmaster says, okay, let's get busy. The kids look a lot younger now. They do. I don't know how they did that. Just good at acting. In the name of the king, let's move. And so great direction. They close up the gates. Tell the guard to open up the gates. What's that from? I don't know. And then the bully kid finds kid psychic hiding, says, come on, you got to help us. The girl's spying. She sees him preparing. Baines sees it through her eyes. We'll prepare. We've got the straw-based buddies. Send them in. Soldiers, straw-based buddies. And they start marching. And let me go to my notes again. Kid psychic, male sit doctor, AV Martha, face off, scarecrow, straw-based buddy. She runs, lots of running, lasers, kid psychic runs, Martha goes west, split up. Let's go to school. School bell, lockdown, enemy at the door. We can get bumps, sand and sister with balsamic and kid music. Send in sister with some sort of music. Kind? Oh, because she's skipping. Martha sad. What in thunder's name? Principal is a jerk. Need the watch. Kid psychic talking to doctor through the watch. Alcohol. Bunnies, Shandor with authority figures. Send a Smith. We are the family. Tin soldiers. Future warning for king and country. One teacher out. Run along. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Stressed out doctor. Bully stressed. In the name of king. Then the girl finds kid psychic, or bully finds kid psychic, futuristic marching music, COWARD, red balloon spy, armor, armory, so do we, soldiers, marching music, prep sequence, marching sequence, lots of mist, early we in England, hold them. Back, it is a trick. Martha and matron, ahem, not from abroad. Who are you? Just a friend. Yeah, I hear you. Matron, ignorant. Oh, really? Can't you see? Boys need me. Son of mine, father of mine. Found TARDIS, Doctor and Joan. River lean. More than facts. Dens and hideaways only a child knows. Great line. Dens and hideaways only a child knows. Some romantic lost prince or price. I think prince. Sad music knows it is wrong. What choice? Kiss goodbye. Kid psychic tells bully the future. Watch runs. Mother mad. Or Martha mad. Search. Boy asks watch because of her. Boy shows her the watch. Action. She runs. Flashbacks. They know. Time Lord. Concert in hands of school. Boy. Go. Maybe that's something in the hands of a schoolboy. Find Ray's watch under. Gods of straw, finds, bring at doors, stand by to Shelby. Fear, tears, straw friends out, cease, just straw. Girl with balloon, come with me, you're funny, bye. Doctor orders, retreat, panic, reanimate total straw, based chaos. Who has the watch? Kid uses watch. Retreat, old man calls doctor. They have the TARDIS, come out, blue box, I'm just a stray, cries. One more phase, they will come to us. This way, Martha. Follow me, power up the ship, fix, targets. House and woods, who lives here? No one? Out of breath, he's cold. Doctor is a little bit confused and need the watch. Doctor is rude, yells at Martha. Why does he need you? Because he's lonely. Knock at the door. Straw friends don't knock. Okay, we'll come back. So we got the straw friends marching here sequence, multiple fades, a lot of mist, like I said. Get ready. Faster, everybody. They can't see the marching straw-based buddies. And yeah, there's a prep sequence of the kids getting ready. A lot of marching. I didn't realize. Maybe the same video. There's like a plethora of straw-based buddies, so it's probably a shortage of burlap in this area. And they say, this is it, year early. Little W, what's it good for? Lucy, hold back. Time Lord's playing a trick. And they say, track down the Time Lord with your red balloon. Now, Martha's saying, geez, yeah, he was an alien, stored it in the watch, his consciousness. It really looks like a watch. Alien, not from another nation, right? He was born on another world. Martha says, different species. Yeah. Okay, in this fairy tale, the matron says, who are you? And that's where Martha's heart starts to break. Friend, I'm not your rival as much as I'm just his friend. And human? Yeah, I'm human. Going to be a doctor, which matron doesn't believe is possible. And Martha has to school her, yeah, you don't get it. And she goes through all the bones of the hand, carpal, proximal, scaphoid, lunate, a lot more, trapezius, trapezoid, hamate, metacarpal, phalanges, proximal, middle, distal. I'd say give her your middle distal for sure. And can't you see this is the truth? And the matron says, I'm not ready to accept it. Martha says, we just have to find the watch. You don't have to accept anything. And she says, the boys need me. Martha frowns. The father calls, found the TARDIS. I got my green face going. So doctor can't get away. So that's probably a bonus. Lies on the River Trent, the southern boundary, Stoke to Umber. Encyclopedia, where'd you live? Broadmarsh Street, Hockley Terrace, Radford Place, and more than facts. Where did you play as a child? Secret little places, dens, and hideaways only a child knows. Man, that writing is magnificent. Tell me. How can you think I'm not real? I kissed you. Was that a lie? No, it wasn't. But this doctor's some romantic lost prince. And she's trying to process it. Would you rather that? And she kind of swallows. I'm not true enough. Am I not enough? She goes, no, you're enough. Anyway, I got to go. And she goes, these are boys, though. She goes, so I don't think this is the John Smith I know anyway, sending these boys to deal with straw-based beings. It's wrong. And so he's in a conundrum. He says, well, what choice do I have? And then he kisses her. She closes her eyes open. So just a brief one. He storms off a little bit. She's thoughtful. And the boys are still getting ready for the straw-based beings. Bully's still bullying. Even though the kid's like, dude, I'm going to save your rear end in a year. So just so you know, better change your tune. But he says, I'll do it anyway. It doesn't matter how you act anyway. I'm a good kid. Maybe you're, we all have our own deal, right? He said, the watch is here for me to help. Sorry, I got to go. But the bully actually does a little bit of good acting at the end because he's he's projecting. Martha's searching for the watch, runs off. Kid's sitting with the watch. Girl finds him. He goes, what did I do? What do I do? Watch says, watch out for her. But she's already there. So it's like a little late. She caught me talking to the watch. She can sense something. She says, are you hiding something behind your back? He goes, what, behind my back? No, I saw you at the dance. So I was just thinking about dancing with you. Sure you're not hiding something? No. She goes, show me. And he goes, you're not a little girl. You're a being from another world. And do you think she's strong enough to look at this watch, flash forward, flash back, an angry doctor? And they see, there's the Time Lord, in the hands of a schoolboy, concealed away. That was my handwriting, I couldn't read. Now we got to find the boy and his watch. What are we waiting for? Let's do it. They roll in. Some more marching, more wild looks, banging on the door. This doctor's staring stuff down. And this is like the showdown sequence. Not too exciting. Straw-based beings come in. And they all go to sleep. And the principal says, okay, well, what did that do? Get ready again. And then the girl appears, and the principal's like, it can't be they go, yeah, that girl's like trouble. And the principal gets laser beamed by the little girl. And she goes, the doctor finally says, let's not face off with this alien. She's an alien, not a girl, but probably not a good idea. Let's go back to school. Because you're just kids. I'm the adult. I should deal with this. And Bane says, go on, get moving. He reanimates that's when there's straw-based chaos, because it reanimates the straw buddies. Everybody's running everywhere. And it's a bit of a wild scene. Kid Psychic is running, trying to find a place to hide or something. The doctor's trying to hide the kids. Martha's trying to hide them, get them out through the back door or something. And they're searching the house, and they're like checking everybody's pockets to see who's got the watch. Even no, none of these kids got the watches. And then the kid does another distraction, opens the watch upstairs. And I guess it's a callback to the other episode, because maybe he sneaks out. The other boys go to hide and run. Doctor's wide-eyed. And he goes, you two go. I'll save the rest of the boys. But it's just straw buddies anyway. The three of them run off into the woods. Kid Psychic's running. He got out the window, I think. Yep, yeah, the window's open. They say, the Banes, it's like, dude, you went in and out the window the whole, like, multiple times in this, the first episode. Then they somehow have transported the TARDIS to the school, and they say, Doctor, we got your TARDIS. Come and claim your prize. But it actually causes a little crack, because then they're able to discuss, wait a second, this was in the comic books. So don't you recognize this? And they say, come on out. This is, Doctor said, I've never seen that before. And they go, you draw it. Don't you know the name of it? You wrote all about it. You drew pictures of it. Even the matron says it, a blue box, the blue box you dream of. And he says, no, I'm John Smith. I just want to be John Smith with his life and his job. So this is where we get a little inner light, this part of it, through the rest of the episode, a little undertone, like the great Next Generation episode. And they say, we need the doctor, man. Martha's forlorn. What am I then? Nothing. I'm just a story. So Mr. Smith's upset. Martha's, man, great, man, such emotion. Then they say, okay, one more phase. We got to find the boy and his watch, the doctor, Mr. Smith. And they'll come to us because we got the TARDIS, but then they go off. Or maybe they say, once we find the boy and his watch. So they go to a house in the woods or in the countryside. Got to keep going. Just listen to me, John. Let's hide out. Dr. Stiff. So they so they come up with a plan to get the doctor out of hiding. They arm their ship, and they use bigger lasers on the town in the school. Let's see. Smith goes into the ship. Oh, this is the end of the episode. The watch, hold it, no. Wants to be held. Fire and ice rage. Lasers, Smith. Love him to bits. Lots of relationship talk in Smith. That's what's coming up. Smith v. Doctor. talk. Every heart gets broken this episode except for the doctor's because his is not there. This is a little inner light and Avengers Endgame or Avengers Endgame. His whole, like the end of that movie with the Captain America. Yeah. His whole life, Smith keeps wasting time. Smith goes into the ship. Ship say, please, is still human. Because he goes, I got to go to him. You know, they're lasering the town. Matron says you can't. Martha, what should I do? We need the watch. Nothing we can do. Aren't you the companion? What do you need to do? Why does he need you? Because he's lonely. He just uses him because he's lonely. And that's what you want me to become, a lonely hero? I say. And then there's a knock at the door we talked about. What if it's them? I don't think straw-based beings knock. And it's Kid Psychic. He just happens to have the watch. Matron and Smith are holding hands at the table. He says, I brought the watch here. But this is the whole hero's choice, right? The watch told me to find you and have you hold it. Why didn't you bring the watch? Kid says, I'm a kid, man. The watch wanted to wait, so I let it wait. Also, I was worried. Doctor's intense. I saw him, and he's got strong feelings. Fire and ice and rage. Night in the storm in the heart of the sun. Ancient and forever. Burns at the center of time, and he can see the turn of the universe. Doctor says, cut it out, man. And he's wonderful. Martha smiles at that. Doctor's breathing heavy. Matron looks down. She goes, yeah, just like this journal. Those are just stories. Smith's in denial. We know it's true. Then we see the town getting lasered with the double hockey stick, a little bit like a game, commanding of lasers, and the aliens are having fun. Village is getting ruined. Smith grabs a watch. Matron says, don't do it. Can't you hear it? It's like he's asleep in there, waiting to waken. Low-level telepathic field, extrasynaptic engram. And then Martha says, that's what the doctor says. Is that how he talks? Yeah, it's him. All you have to do is open it and he's back. Smith's torn. Why'd you let me and Miss Redfern fall in love? I couldn't stop you. You didn't tell me you were going to fall in love with somebody else. He goes, what sort of man is that? Now you expect me to just make this part of me go away? It was always going to end, though. The doctor said he's got a family, and, the family needs a Time Lord. So something, I don't know. So he goes, really, your job was just to sit and wait here? Martha says, come on. We need the doctor. We need a hero. And I've only just met him, but even that long ago, Martha says he's everything. He's just everything to me. He doesn't even look at me, but I don't care because I love him to bits. And I hope to God he doesn't remember this. She goes, not as a friend, right? Heart to heart, heart to hearts. Should have thought of this before. I'll just give them the watch and give up, and then I can stay Mr. Smith. Martha says, no. They want the doctor. And then Nurse Redfern says, you got to be, like, I didn't read it to the end. She goes, if you let them win, it's all over for humanity. And everything else, they're not a family of good. Then Matron says, leave me and Mr. Smith alone for a little bit. There's some crying. He's crying. He's actually weeping. Wow. So they embrace. Lasers are going on. Martha and Kid Psychic sit in silence, breathing, stressed, side by side outside the house. Martha hugs the Kid Psychic. Doctor stares at the watch, or Smith does. Matron says, I'd do it if I was you, like if I could take your place, but I can't. And she said, I had a lot of hopes for us, but my hopes aren't important. And the doctor won't love you. And she goes, if he's not you, then I don't want him to love me anyway. She goes, I was in love once. Now I'm in love again, but I'm in love with you. But I'm also, realize, yeah. And it was real, Dr. Smith says. And she goes, yeah, I really was in love with you. And I thought we had a future. And then she holds the watch. She says, blasted thing. Can't even hear it. It's not talking to me. Then they get clasp hands. Then we get the inner light sequence fast. Marriage, kissing, birth, family starting, rockabye baby, more kids in the countryside walking, swinging, double-breasted suits, hand-holding like at the end of Avengers Endgame. And, time passing that way and saying, okay, it's all good, eh? They all send their love, John. And he says, okay, well, inner light, thanks for everything. Going to the visit, the big TARDIS in the center of the, then she only saw it, though. She goes, the Time Lord has adventures, but he couldn't have a life like that with me. And the doctor says, Smith says, but I can. Actually, there's a painting with angels behind him. I can't quite make it out, but she says, what are you going to do? And I like how they leave it. She stares at him. He stares at her. He's unsure. Then we see the ship and they say, okay, we'll just keep lasering the town. Then we need to. Then Smith stumbles in. Wow, there's still 14 minutes, it says, but so I'll have to see how this resolves. But let's go through my notes here. Smith goes into the ship, stop, say please. He's still human. I'm innocent. Gives them the watch. Hats, sweating, fake out, glasses on, full game on the run, red lights, get out, ship out. They get up, go from grass. The fury of the Time Lord. He doles out some punishments. Girl and mirror, steam friend, something, doctor, worlds off, matron to have will, T-set, matron and doctor awkward. She's proud of Smith, who was actually the hero choice. He makes her a companion offer. I said, dude, come on, man. Don't you have any real realization of how this affects Martha? You and me could at least try, at least one with me. I can't. Martha's or somebody's not happy with through doctor's choices on a whim. You can go. Stern look. She has the journal still. She cries. TARDIS in field in the rain. Molto bene. Doctor tries to play it off like nothing happened. He goes back into, deflection mode. I'm familiar with that. Martha waiting, awkward. Timothy Tim shows up. I've seen the future. Take the watch. Hug. And it is good. Yes, TARDIS out. Kid smiles and walks off in the rain. Back. Then we see the kid save the bully based on watch time. Back to precise. Promise doctor a month over there. Watch close up end. Let's roll it. So the doctor's on ship. He accidentally falls and hits a bunch of buttons like a nincompoop, which they don't pay attention to or they don't realize it. And they smell him. He says, shut down the guns and I'll give you the watch. So they say, okay. And he goes, I don't understand what's happening, but I'm innocent. He goes, I'm John Smith. I didn't have any control over it. He didn't just make himself human. He made himself a nincompoop. I think he falls again. Same thing, but in a pretty good way, like out of nervousness. I don't care about the doctor and your family. I just want you to leave. So I made my choice. You can have it. You could take the watch. Just get it away from me. And they say, jackpot. And I really like this turn, even though it kind of maybe, I mean, if it was a season end, we would have known, but, and they say you're in trouble. Then he pushes the doctor. He hits more buttons. And they say, now we got the Time Lord. Open the watch, regular watch. They try to breathe in the magic. It's empty. They say, what? Doctor still, where's it gone? You tell me. They throw the watch. She goes, oh, boy. Well, you've been fooled. Olfactory misdirection. Ventriloquism of the nose. Elementary trick in certain parts of the galaxy. Got to be said. He puts on his glasses. Looks like your engine's overloaded. And probably not going to be good. Oh, probably too late, actually. And one thing you shouldn't have done, press all those buttons. Let me press those buttons, but I'll give you some advice. Better get off the ship right now. And the doctor runs out, and they realize, oh, the ship's going to go bye-bye. Boom, boom. So they all run. Ship goes bye-bye. And they're running. Doctor's got a lead on them. And, yeah, no more ship. So then they look up and they say, what in the, that's not good. That's our only ship. We don't have your backup or anything. Which they say, what if like a tree fell on it or something? And then they say, that was the worst thing. He's never yelled at us. The fury of the Time Lord is quiet. We discovered why, doctor had been through so much, why he'd run away from us. He ran away from us because he was kind. He didn't want to have to punish us. So he puts the father in unbreakable chains, forged in the heart of a dwarf star. Mom sleeping in an event horizon for a while. Sister, she's in a mirror. He can visit her once a year. She just chills in there. By the way, that's what, don't worry about it. If you're in a mirror, it's just my sister chilling there. So she's stuck there. Nothing to have on your concern list. So she's just bored. And that's always her. Me, I'm suspended in time. He has to become a straw-based being to watch over the fields of England as their protector. Which is interesting because Cillian Murphy played the same character in one of the movies with one of the DC heroes. He played a straw-based being. Then we see a tea set. Nurse Redfern is sitting there, closing her eyes, stressed clearly. Waiting. Doctor comes in. He's got his duster on now. She stands, looks out the window. Everything taken care of. Yeah. Doctor's smooth now. Yeah, parents are coming. School's closed. There's going to be a lot of questions. Not even sure what to say. And she looks at the doctor. Oh, so, yeah, I didn't want to look at you. You look the same as Smith. Better hair, but sorry. This is really tough to look at you. Doctor, I must call you doctor. She goes, where's Smith, by the way? John Smith. And doctor says, he's part of me. Just like a story, though. Could you change back? I could. Role playing. Will you? No. Like permanently, she means. So I guess you can't role play. It's like 100 or not, 100% or nothing. Well, then, he was braver than you in the end. He was the one who had, him and Martha were the ones, the ordinary man, an extraordinary woman. they chose to make the choice as a sacrifice. You didn't have to do anything. And the doctor said, I'll trump my bad behavior with even more bad behavior. Why don't you come with me as my companion? Can't handle the tension now. Like, well, I'm projecting. Like, she goes, what do I look like to you, doctor? I must seem so very small. Doctor goes, no, we could start over. I'd like it. You're cool. You and me could try at least. He goes, if John Smith liked you, I probably like you too. I'm capable of that. He says, not even that. I'm capable of that. She goes, no. He goes, come on. I can't. Why not? She goes, dude, like, I was in love with John Smith. You just happen to look like him. He walks towards her. He's in here, inside. If you look in my eyes, answer me this question. Martha says, if the doctor had never visited us, never chosen this place on a whim, none of this would have happened, right? And she's mad now. I love it. She says, you have a culpability here, man. You just think you're traipsing around the universe, but it has an impact on somebody else. He absorbs it. And she says, you can go. Great scene. Great scene. Amazing. He tries to walk off. So no wonder he plays the deflection card later. She's tearing up. But I never thought about that, how everybody, I don't know if that's all. I mean, the doctor has to stay. Well, I don't know. She still has a journal. She hugs it close to her chest. She's actually still wearing her wedding ring from her first marriage. So a lot of layers. Then we see the field. It's misty, rainy. Doctor's walking in the rain across the field. Martha's standing there in a cool jacket. Her arms are crossed. Molto bene. Let's get rolling. She's like, is everything okay? Time to move on. She goes, I could go talk to her. The doctor goes, no. And she goes, so about the things I said, I'd say anything to, try to get you to change back. So, okay. Awkward. Yeah. Let's go on. Move on. But Martha, wow, she looks beautiful. So it's like, what the heck, dude? And he goes, thanks for looking after me. He gives her a friend's hug. And then the kid psychic shows up. Timothy Tim wanted to say Thank you. Now I know I got to save the bully later. So, it's coming, huh? And, say, well, you can make your choices. And he goes, yeah, you're making your choices to be a heroine. So maybe I could be a hero. He goes, Tim, take this watch. With this watch, you'll save the bully. He goes, just a watch now, but keep it with you for good luck. And Martha gives him a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And they try not to trip in the rain. They get in. He goes, you'll like this bit, watching the TARDIS vanish. And we get to hear, it's been a while since I've heard the TARDIS sound effects. So it goes off. Kid smiles in disbelief. Rain gets stronger. And then he walks off and kind of, he's like, man, like with a look like, that was cool. That was cool. And then we see him help the bully a year later. Very impressive. And, the kind of history of the dominoes. I think the doctor's doing a voiceover, or maybe the kid is. I don't know. But the kid still has the watch. 1 minute past the hour. I'm going to keep my bully. Hutchinson is his name. And so he helps the bully. And they look around. He laughs. He says, I did it. Looks around again. Says, thank you, doctor. And he goes, come on, old chap. He goes, I'm going to keep helping you. Didn't I promise you that? It's an order. receive my help. And they go off together, climbing. Then we see, the kid in the future, when his friend at like a memorial. Oh yeah, it's like the memorial. So they say, so the kid's there holding the watch, another flash forward, and they're talking about, heroic acts, and pinning, and we see Dr. Martha looking on, and he smiles, he sees them, he's still holding the watch. It's a solemn moment, of memory and of, memorial moment, and saying, let's remember everybody. And the kid touches the watch, and the episode ends. So that was the episode. And then, we'll be back soon with another one. What do we got? 2 or 3 more? That was episode 9. What do we got here? Let's go to it and see. So we got, there's a Christmas special too. So maybe we'll put that at holiday time. But, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. And it looks like, I don't know what to expect, but it should be good. So I'm looking forward to it. Good night, everybody. All right. I want to thank everybody that became a patron recently. I want to say thanks, and good night to Jace, Amanda, and Sean. Thanks, and good night to Michelle, Sarah, and Tyler. Thanks, and good night to Aaron, Karen, and Sam. Thanks, and good night to Anthony, Brandon, and Riley. Thanks, and good night to Joan, Karen, and Tess. Thanks, and good night to Todd, Sydney, and Annie. Thanks, and good night to Emily, Whitney, and Brianna. Thanks, and good night to Aaron, Sarah, and Sandra. Thanks, and good night to Chelsea, Ryan, and Hannah. Thanks, and good night to Katie, Lori, and Sarah. Thanks, and good night to Ann, Jonathan, and Sydney. Thanks, and good night to Random, Caitlin, and Sherry. Thanks, and good night to James, Natasha, and Ann. And thanks, and good night to Nathan, Jeremy, and Melinda. Thanks to everybody who supports the show on Patreon, supports the show in other places, or supports our sponsors. That's how we're free twice a week for anybody, over 400 episodes in the feed. You can also help the show for free by just spreading the word about podcasting or joining our referral program at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer, letting people know about the show. But even if you show people, talk about podcasts in general, it's going to help the podcast eventually. So thank you so much. And here's some of these Tuck You In sponsors that have really helped us expand the back catalog that's available for everybody. Thanks and good night.